what do you think about NFTs as a whole for the future of society?
They're fascinating. I mean, I think that we are extremely early in this concept of ownership when it comes to actually having an asset that represents a claim on economic and social value of a community. There is literally no better asset class for that. So what I mean by this is if I like my favorite artist, an NFT can represent the master royalties on their project. Right now, we're in a novelty phase where people are collecting things because it looks cool. It has different rarity traits. But when you start to look beyond that initial concept, there's not much fundamentals backing it. My belief is over the next 5 to 10 years, these NFTs will have more on-chain proven economic value to them and more utility. And as we start to bake out that sector, I think it's going to be less about speculating on flipping NFTs and more about holding these assets over a longer time horizon because they're a very, very legitimate asset class.
It's awesome. And so how do you go about explaining this stuff to, let's just say, a college friend?
Yeah, so I'm very proud to say that every week I sit down with about 3 to 5 creators here in LA. I really give them the rundown on NFTs, crypto, everything that's happening. I like to say I'm digesting 5 years of experience into 30 minutes of conversation. The way that I explain this is basically digital ownership. For a long time, we've had this notion of collecting physical items. We've had a lot of notion of collecting items from your favorite brand, community, or individual. But NFTs and social tokens are basically the first way that you can invest in culture online. So when you look at this industry, I try and explain that scarcity is really important. Rarity games are really important. A lot of the concepts we talked about here with like trading cards and flipping and whatnot, it's a full spectrum. But at the end of the day, I think it always comes down to community building. So when I ask people like why they should get involved in the space, I ask them to look around at their friend groups that they have today. And when you think about how you spend your time 9 to 5 versus on the weekend, those are two fundamentally different conversations. But what crypto does, it allows you to make money by investing in the communities that you love. And when that really clicks to people, they start noticing that they can create their own communities, they can be a valuable member of communities. And very soon from there, I think people are excited about getting involved.
Yeah, and it's an interesting point about make money from being part of a community, because what happens when you sell and you're a part of that community, you sell your asset, and now do you lose your friends? Do you lose a sense of identity? Can you take me through that piece of it as someone way more experienced in this realm?
Yeah, so I think this is why you see that these assets are performing as well that they are, because there's social capital associated with these decisions. If you're selling your CryptoPunk that you've had as your avatar for 3 years, that is a really meaningful conversation. And so when it comes to these high profile blue chip NFT asset classes, the reason why they've appreciated so much in value is because those holders are very convicted in holding those assets for a long time because they have social capital associated with them. A lot of the times what you see in these Discord channels is a token gated bot called Collabland. What this does is it connects your Discord username to an Ethereum-based wallet. So that bot is looking to make sure that you hold a specific asset. And in the event that you sell that asset, you actually lose your role in the Discord server and you get kicked out as a result. And so there's no way to really fake whether or not you actually have ownership stakes in these communities. There are now tools that are tracking that on chain. And so as you make these decisions to sell, you're basically weighing up, do I care about the social capital of being in this community more so than the ETH I can get from selling? And I think there's always a price that people are willing to sell at, which is very healthy and good. But for a lot of people, they actually value being a member of this community more so than they do the profit to be earned from selling that asset.